Welcome back, friends. When I got back from Colorado last year, I had to start to do some research to upgrade my sleep system, and specifically my sleeping bag. I let my wife use my down bag, which is perfectly adequate. Even though it's 40 years old, it's still in perfect condition, works great, and she was toasty, but I was not. And I used this. This is not a Sea to Summit sleeping bag. I just have it in this 9-liter stuff sack, but this is my Army surplus poncho liner. And for just about anything that I do, it's more than adequate. But it does have a couple problems. It dipped into, you know, the low 40s up there, and I got pretty chilly. And it's also kind of heavy. It weighs about 3 pounds, and you can see it's not overly huge. I'm in a 9-liter stuff sack here, but I really wanted something else. When I took this on a backpacking trip, you know, it takes up a lot of room, and I wanted something smaller and lighter. Now, when you're talking backpacking, smaller and lighter means money. And so what I was looking at replacing it with was anywhere from, you know, $275 to maybe $325, $350, and I just didn't think that was a good way to spend my money for no more than I would use it. So as I continued my research, I came up with this, and that is the Aegismax down sleeping bag. As you can see, it is very, very small. Compare it to my Coca here, you can see pretty darn small. Basic specs on this thing is, the big one is it weighs 1 pound. Now if you take it out of the stuff sack and you put it on the scale and you hold your tongue just right, it'll come in at 10 or 11 ounces, under 1 pound. So got a 1 pound sleeping bag right here, down filled. It has 800 fill goose down, 20D nylon fabric as your shell and also as your liner, 78 inches long and about 34 inches across the shoulders. Compressed size, as you can see, you can even get this smaller if you want, but we're talking about 4 3/4 by 8 inches here, so it's pretty darn tiny. Now, since I purchased this one, there have been 2 more upgrades to this. They have an M2. The specs say it's the same as this one, but the pictures say, and other people have said, it's actually a little longer. Now, I'm not a real big guy. I'm 5'11". I weigh about 178, and I fit in this just perfectly. And there's a guy in the UK that's even bigger than me that he didn't have any problems with it. Now, as you can see, when we're going to take this out of the stuff sack, that it doesn't have a full mummy wrap around the top. It just kind of opens up like a butterfly here. But they have the M2 version has a kind of a down collar on it, and the M3 version is also longer than this one, and it has a full down hood. Now, the price of this one is $69.95 on Amazon. The price of the M2 is about 80 bucks, and the M3 is about 110. Now, just for grins, I looked this up on AliExpress yesterday, and you can buy this sleeping bag for $48 with free shipping and of course no tax. If you're kind of leery about buying things from AliExpress or from overseas, don't worry about it. I've bought dozens of things from them. I usually get it in 2 weeks. Some things I've gotten in a week, and I've had absolutely no problems dealing with AliExpress. So, but if you can find it on Amazon, that's fine. I couldn't find the larger version, the M2 or the M3 on Amazon. That was yesterday, but you can go and look and see what you can find out. But 48 bucks, $48.95, I don't see how you can go wrong. You know, that's about 3 good, you know, 3 meat barbecue plates with 3 Dr. Peppers. So you need to look at that. Now, this is also, their specs say this is about a 35 to 46 degree bag. And from everybody I've talked to, everybody I've read about and all the reviews on it, that's right on the money. Any lower than that, that's not what it's for. Now, the only testing I've done is we had a couple real cold days here in January where it got to 18, 19 degrees during the day, and I ran out, jumped in this thing out there, and of course I was cold. But it's not a 20 degree bag or a 15 degree bag. But I think it's pretty adequate for what I'm going to be doing. Anything, you know, 40 degrees down to 35 with a good sleeping pad, I think you're going to be good to go. So you will get, it'll come just like this. You get this really nice little compression bag, which you usually don't get with any sleeping bags you buy. And in addition to that, you also get this nice storage bag here, so your down doesn't stay compressed all the time. So that's pretty, two pretty nice little items you get for 48 bucks if you decide to buy this on AliExpress. So next, let's get this thing out of the bag, and so you guys can look at it all laid out. Okay, we got our Aegismax bag out, and the longer we let it set out, the more that fill starts to fluff up and look pretty nice. Kind of looks like a big foot, doesn't it? Most mummy bags, and especially anything that's lightweight, is super tight, especially when you get down around the foot box. But you can see this thing has an adequate sized foot box and width all the way up throughout towards the shoulders. I think it's going to be a great fit. Like I said, there's a guy in the UK that's a lot bigger than me. He didn't have any problem with this bag, and I don't think I will either. Now the zipper on this thing comes down to about halfway. I'm probably going to be using it kind of in this configuration and just kind of draping it over me, kind of like a quilt, putting my feet in the foot box, letting it go at that. But if it does get cold, like it did in Colorado this year, then I'll be using it as a regular mummy bag. Now the zipper is not anything to brag about. It's not like something you're going to see on a nice Marmot bag or a big Agnes or something, but it will be fine for a little budget bag like this. You've got a down-filled neck collar here. You can cinch it up there and get nice and toasty just like that. So I think for the budget-minded or a guy that's not going to be using it a whole lot, I think this is going to be perfect. Bike packing, you saw how small it gets, and I think it's going to be awesome for that. But you know, this is not, and it's not advertised as such, a heavy duty use bag or somebody that's doing through hikes. Obviously you're not going to be able to get away with that, but for 48 bucks, I think this is some of the best money that you can spend, you know, for a nice little sleeping bag. Or even if you're just getting started in backpacking, you don't want to spend a bunch of money, start out right here. So let me know what you think. I think this thing's pretty cool. If you have any experience with it, please leave your comments below. If you have any questions, I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you like our videos, and share them with your friends. So until next time, you guys be safe, and we hope to see you out on the trail. Adios.